No. Now we can start whenever. Now that we've synced up, now we can start whenever.
It's episode 6.
Episode 6.
It's episode 6.
Hopefully that's not copyrighted enough to get us banned. Welcome.
I made that up. That's all me, man.
Totally original.
Completely original.
Welcome everyone to the Two Starving Artists podcast, where we have nothing but completely original content, whether that
We're
be
so creative.
music or lyrics or otherwise. I'm one of your hosts, Gabe Chandler, and I'm joined, as usual, by the awesome vocal guitarist. That's your name now. That's the artist formerly known as Brooke, but now known as apparently. For those of you listening on Spotify, in the Zoom call, she literally just changed her nickname to and it is quite humorous.
Hi, I'm your host.
No, that should be, shouldn't that be, aunt?
Oh my gosh, guys, I had a kid.
You didn't have a kid. You didn't have the kid.
I had a kid in my heart. Her name is Riley. She's now my niece, and I have a niece. And oh my gosh, guys, I have a freaking niece. She's going to be the most adored kid in the world.
So tell us the story. Your older sister had a child. It's the firstborn, first grandkid in the family, right?
First grandkid, first niece or nephew ever in this side of our family. So I have a niece now, and she's so cute. And yeah, it was crazy. I don't really know what else to say.
What was that like? We actually had to delay our recording for this episode by a couple of days because we normally, giving you all a little peek behind the curtain, we normally record on Wednesday nights, but this past Wednesday you were a little bit busy.
Yeah, so my mom was in the delivery room with Ashley, and my little sister Grace was in the waiting room. So my mom was like, "Hey, can you talk on the phone with Grace?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And it was just a whirlwind. It was a whirlwind of stuff. And I was exhausted yesterday. So yesterday was Thursday. I was just so exhausted from everything we dealt with on Wednesday. Oh my goodness. It was so crazy. I don't know how much information I can give out of Ashley's, but we had
Social
some
security
scares.
Number, credit card information.
Yeah. So after the doctors wrote down her security number, 111-777-1477.
Mm-hmm. That's probably someone's actual social security number. Now they're screwed.
You're welcome. We just screwed someone over.
Continue.
All on purpose. All original content here, guys.
All original content. But y'all had some, but so while there were some scares, mom and baby are doing fine now, right?
Yeah, they are completely healthy. And I'm so grateful because after everything our family's been through the past 2 years, it's nice to have a win, and it's nice to have some more joy back in our lives and to have something nice to happen. It's been really good. We're just so excited to have a kid in the family and to have something joyful to look forward to. I get to meet her in 2 weeks. I'm so thankful. I'm so, God really pulled through, and we were just blessed. I'm so excited, and she's so beautiful. It was one of those things. There were some things happening, health-wise for Ashley. So I was really nervous, and then I got the call from my mom, and my mom was crying, and I was like, what? And she's like, she's here, and I'm like, okay, whoo. Oh God, it was an emotional night. I'm just glad everything's okay, because I nearly had a heart attack and immediately started crying. And if you see the screenshots I sent you, Gabe, of the FaceTime, you can see my face.
I saw you were all red and puffy, and I'm like...
Immediately, just a waterfall of tears.
Yeah.
And I could hear her cry in the background, and that initial cry, my heart just was like, boom, 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 boom. Crazy. And I wasn't even there, man, like in person, but I was there, like online. And me and Grace had a great time. We talked and played some games. We played Kiss, Marry, Kill, a bunch of different
Nice.
things, like animes, her favorite music. So we had fun. I gave Grace some company too on the phone yesterday while they were figuring things out. Ashley and Josh, I'm praying for them and praying that, everything continues to go well with Riley's health and that they figure out this whole parenting thing. They'll do great. They'll be great parents. They're already great parents. I'm just so happy for them. But yeah, I'm an aunt now.
Yeah. Auntie Brooke.
All my money's gonna be gone.
Auntie
Aunt
Blaney.
Auntie Blaney.
No, yeah. Congratulations to you and your whole family and your sister and your brother-in-law. Yeah, no, the screenshots from their FaceTime call, baby Riley is so precious. So precious. And I have no doubt that you're going to be one killer aunt. And, shout out to you also for being a good sister, a good little sister, a good big sister, and a good daughter for your mom throughout this whole process, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And
yeah, so those of you who don't know, my dad, I lost my dad in 2021. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy time. It's Father's Day tomorrow.
Yeah. Date when we're recording this.
Oh.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's just like, this is when
I cut my
recording.
finger for some reason. How'd that happen?
Why did you cut your finger?
Yeah, like I did it on purpose.
We've talked about this.
No.
No more paper
I don't know
cuts.
why that happened.
No more paper cuts for you, young lady.
It might actually be a paper cut. Anyway.
Well, no more.
Any hoozles. I'm eating carrots. I have carrots on my desk.
We're happy that in the midst of everything that's been going on, your family literally has a bundle of joy.
Yeah.
To hold and to, and to have with you guys. And so I'm excited for you to meet her next week, or not next week, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, about a week and a half. No, yeah, almost 2 weeks. Wait, let me do the math. I'm really bad at math. About 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
That's why we went into theater. Why I'm also very bad at math, and so we're theater kids. Anyway.
I was so bad at math, bro. I had to go to an after school program to get help in math.
Dude, my freshman year at Asbury, I made the brilliant decision freshman year to try to knock out my math requirement, my math gen ed. My first semester, tried to knock out my math requirement with the 7:30 a.m. class Tuesday, Thursday.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because I was young and dumb and a freshman.
Because I was young and dumb.
Young and dumb freshman.
How do you even retain anything that early in the morning?
You really can't, and I know this because I already have trouble retaining anything math and science related, and yeah. I missed passing the class. Are you ready for this? 1/10% of a percent.
Oh, Gabe. Oh God, baby.
I missed passing the class by 1/10 of a percent. So I had to retake the class as a summer course, an accelerated summer course, the following summer. However, the summer course was awesome by comparison. Like, I passed that one with a C. And I had Professor Duck Lee. Our first day, he comes walking in, like, me and like the 4 other people who are in this class, we're the only people in the entire math and science building. He comes walking in, he just kind of sighs, sets down his briefcase, sits down in the chair, leans back, plants both of his feet up onto the desk, And he kind of looks at us and he goes, I know you don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I would much rather be playing golf right now. So how about this? We make this class as painless as possible for all of us. And so even though it was like, I think it was supposed to be like a 2.5-hour class, Monday through Thursday, we spent the first hour on actual math. We took a 30-minute lunch break, and then spent the last hour learning origami and making cool fractal pictures in the math and science computer lab. It was really, really cool.
Wow, you got lucky, man.
Yeah, I did. After being very unlucky the first time around, because I feel like only a math or science professor would stop someone from passing by 0.1%, you know?
You know why I passed?
What?
I made sure that I wore glasses to class every time I was just even a second late.
Uh-huh.
And then I made sure I was the last one in the classroom after every single class to make it seem like I was super dedicated. And I was, but I made a special point to make sure that she noticed. And I passed. I just tried to seem very, very dedicated to passing, which I was. But I also put a little spice in there. That's how I passed Spanish, too.
You heard it here first, folks. You'll learn all sorts of stuff on the Two Starving Artists podcast, and today you're learning how to get past difficult classes by dedicating yourself, but also making it look like you're dedicating yourself.
Yeah, even more than you are.
It's all performance. It's all about confidence and how you portray yourself.
Yes. Side note, your volume's a little low.
There we go. I have turned myself up a little bit, so hopefully...
That's a lot better.
Hopefully. I also have my pop filter in place, so I'm not as close to my microphone as I normally am, so that might be the issue.
Gotcha.
You're also learning about how to troubleshoot technical issues here on the Two Starving Artists podcast. Learn a little bit of everything here.
So, you know how you texted? So, Gabe apparently, I didn't even know this.
What?
I didn't even know my video was on when you texted me. Yeah.
She sent me the Zoom link for the call, and on time, I logged on, and I log on, and first, for 30 seconds, I don't see anything, and then everything's just the blurry background, and then you just come walking into frame, and you're like, swaying, like you're listening to a music, and I'm like, I wonder what she's listening to.
I was actually talking to myself and doing a monologue that I have to memorize.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and now I have a pop mic, too.
A pop filter. Pop filter. We'll get there eventually.
There we go. And this is so bright. Why the heck?
Why the heck? This is the troubleshooting episode of the Two Starving Artists podcast.
Why is it so bright? Get away. What? It just keeps getting worse. Okay. That's a lot better.
It's also
Why
a little
does
bit.
It do this?
It's also a warmer light too.
There we go.
This is
That is equal.
very stimulating stuff for our podcast-only audience as we're adjusting video right now.
I mean, we don't have to keep that in. We can cut it out.
No, this is staying in. This is all staying in. We are raw, authentic, and real here on the Two Starving Artists podcast.
Really?
Yes.
All right. I thought we were cutting it out. That's why I was doing it.
I can cut it out if you want me to, but I think it's more entertaining.
I guess. But yeah, I was doing a monologue because there's this charity event, and they want me to do a monologue as if I'm one of the people who who participated in the charity that the charity helps.
Okay.
They wanted an actor to do it. So I have to memorize like 3 very dense pages of things. And it's been a while since I've had to memorize that much. So I'm kind of treating it like memorizing Shakespeare. And one of the things I found helps me is like pacing or walking or going on a walk while I memorize it or while I do it. And it gets a rhythm into my body, and also it makes it easier for some reason for me to memorize it. There's also a lot of tricks that we could go over sometime about memorization, but that's what I'm doing.
I was gonna say putting movement to the words is a pretty, it's a classic memorization trick, especially with Shakespearean recitative and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
The actors, especially, like you look in original Shakespeare, and you see these gigantic blocks of text that these actors had to sometimes only had like a week to memorize. They would associate various parts. This is a whole tangent. We'll talk about this more in depth another time, but let's talk about that next week. That'll be our next topic is memorization techniques. They would associate different parts of the monologue with different parts of the stage. So this is something that we learned about, or I remember learning about when you and I went to the Globe along with our...
we studied at the Shakespeare Globe Theatre in London, UK.
It was so freaking cool.
It was awesome. It was like one of the best experiences of my life. Let's talk about that sometime. But so what did you want to talk about this week?
This week I think we said we're talking about, or at least briefly, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite TV shows, because you and I have both been watching some shows that have grabbed our attention. I have finally taken the deep dive into Ted Lasso. It only took me 2 years to watch the first season.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's been out that long.
Yeah, I know, right? Because it came out in the middle of 2020, like
Whoa!
so in the middle of like COVID.
Wait, I have to move around, and my chair is like really squeaky. Okay. Oh, my legs are like in weird positions. Okay, go.
I get that.
Go.
But no, so it came out in the middle of 2020. So when I think it was like right after the actual quarantines ended, but like before a lot of the lockdowns with restaurants and stores and such opened back up. So everyone was still at home. And it's just like it's such just a heartwarming show. Like the basic premise is you have this woman named Rebecca who is she and her incredibly wealthy husband, this British couple, have recently gotten a divorce, and her cheating husband was a majority owner of a British Premier League soccer team, the fictional AFC Richmond, and so she got the soccer team in the divorce. And so her goal, because she has this crazy line in the show, this very just one of many impactful lines that she has, talking about the pain of his infidelity and their split, where she says he always loved this team more than he loved me, and so her goal has become to run the team into the ground and get it completely broken up and destroyed, essentially. So she hires this kind of folksy, southern American football, college American football coach, a guy named Ted Lasso, who is based on, I believe it's a CBS ad campaign, where that basically told the same story. This kind of like, well, howdy there, a smile, like to borrow from Fresh Cut Grass and Critical Role, this kind of smiley day to you, sort of.
Well, smiley day
character. Who's just all just sunshine and positivity and openness. She brings him in to be the coach, hoping that the savage Brits that are over there, the savage football fans over there in England, will just tear him apart. And the fact that he knows nothing about soccer will hopefully make
Hey,
it
there's
so
like an
that...
airplane or something going overhead.
Oh, I can actually hear it in your mic.
All right. Go ahead.
Start it over again. But
Yeah.
so basically, she hopes that this American college college American football coach, knowing nothing about how soccer, I almost call it football again, knowing nothing how soccer works,
English football,
English
American
football,
football. Distinguish them
knowing
that way.
nothing how English football works, and hopefully not knowing how to navigate the waters of being a coach in professional English soccer works, will destroy the team. But what ends up happening is that he ends up, unifying the team and really bringing everyone together, and they actually start doing kind of well. And it's this amazing character piece. The characters that they surround Ted with. Ted in and of himself is a phenomenal character. The main guy. Who is he? I want my mic. More technical issues. Who is he played by? Jason Sudeikis. Ted Lasso himself, played by Jason Sudeikis, is a phenomenal character, a phenomenal job by Jason himself, and they surround him with all of these other cast of characters. You have Rebecca, the former owner. You have our villain, I guess you could say, of the series, Rupert, her ex-husband. You have several members of the soccer team itself, who are all just wonderful portrayals of different, these different walks of life, and how people who have gone through all these different these different elements of life, how they kind of deal with it, and how it what it does to people. And you look at the people that it made them, but the whole time Ted comes into their lives, and he's able to, through his kindness and his charm, and through his openness and his honesty and his belief in people, he's able to break down their walls and break down their barriers and really bring them together. And it's such a delightful show. It's I will say, there's a couple of warnings. It's also very much a British show in that there's a lot of swearing. So much. And a lot of the content there's a lot of adult themes discussed, especially relating to
the sex.
The sex, adult themes. So if that's not your cup of tea, then feel free to pass it on by. But if those things don't really bother you, absolutely give this show a watch. So I've finished the first season. Brooke, you're at episode 9 out of 10. And I think we're going to watch the second season together, right?
Oh, heck to the yes. We're going to watch it together. This past Sunday, it was this Sunday, right? I came over on the Sunday.
Yeah.
To you and Matt's apartment.
Yeah.
Anyway, we watched it together, and I just got reminded how good the writing is again. Because I'd watched through episode 4, and we watched to episode 9 on the first season together, and it's just so good. The writing's so good. They wrote characters really well. They differentiate all the characters in very just amazing ways. And it's also really sweet. They always apologize to each other a lot in the show, which I find refreshing. It's really cute. It's really sweet. And I can't watch it alone. It made me sad because, the show, they got divorced and stuff, and it made me sad.
Ted, in I think episode 3 or 4, you find out that Ted and his wife are also
spoilers.
Up. Oh yeah, spoilers for a 2-year-old TV show.
Right, yeah, it is 2 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a good show. I'm gonna watch season 2 with you for sure.
And then we will. So our review of season 1, our super brief review of season 1, is The writing is absolutely phenomenal. The acting is absolutely incredible. The portrayal of these well-written characters is incredible. You really find yourself rooting for this fictional soccer team to start doing well, because you have all of these characters who have really come together
through kindness.
Yeah, through kindness and
through
honesty.
Through Ted's
openness,
kindness.
and yeah, it's just it's fantastic. And you see these guys who, beforehand were, while we're here for, it's just a job, this is a failing soccer club, so we're not going to bring our A game. We're not going to really care about who each other is. It's a rotating door here. People come and go. It doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden, Ted and his assistant coach Beard. I love Beard so much. He's just
his assistant coach Beard is like so funny. He's just he's the perfect wingman for Ted.
A foil, I'd say. He's the perfect foil, because they're both like similar and yet opposite in just the right ways. Because while Ted is the constant talker, you have Beard, who puts on his sunglasses and just kind of,
he's like, yeah,
just backs him up. And there's one or two instances where Beard does like kind of finally come out of his shell, and each of those moments are just like, yes, it's just the right. That's where the writing comes in. All of these wonderful moments, like my my favorite moment of the whole first season is just this one moment when the captain of the team, Roy, is reading his niece a book as like a bedtime story. And the book was given to him by Ted to try to send a message. So this is the part where I'll say you have to watch it yourself. I'm not going to give any spoilers
Roy,
here.
The reason why this premise is even so funny in the first place, Roy is like this guy that when you meet him on the show, he's super chagrin, I would say.
Stoic and like tough.
Stoic,
and he's a
tough.
He is a brick wall, no nonsense soccer captain.
Says F-bombs like this and that all the time. And then all of a sudden it cuts to him reading this children's book to his niece. You finish it off.
Yeah, so he's there's this smash cut where so Ted had given all of his players a book as a gift, like personalized books essentially, hoping to convey a message to each of them that he's trying to help them understand about themselves. And so you have this smash cut to the big man's man, no nonsense, no frills Roy, sitting on his niece's bed in this frilly girl's room with string lights everywhere, reading this book to her. And he just he gets to the part where he reads the passage that Ted wanted him to read. He reads it. He just kind of just sits there and just screams in the middle. Just screams the F word in the middle of this little girl's room. And she's just like, Uncle Roy, no cursing. And it's so good. It's so good. His niece is so cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really don't know why. Well, I do kind of know why. I have this weird thing where if someone tells me that I need to watch, it's usually watch. It hasn't been this way with books yet, but whenever someone tells me you need to watch this, and the implication behind it is you're supposed to watch this and you're supposed to love it, then I immediately just nope.
Oh, you'll hate Stranger Things then. You'll hate it. Don't watch it, man. Ugh.
You got that
Get away from it.
Got that reverse psychology thing going on.
Yeah, just avoid it. Avoid it. Just avoid it all weekend.
Yeah. Okay. I'll
all
try to,
weekend.
I will not watch it then. I'll avoid it at all costs.
Yep. Do that. It'll be good for you.
But yeah, no, as soon as someone says that about a movie or a TV show, you're supposed to watch this and the implication is you're supposed to like it, I immediately have no desire whatsoever to watch that, because I want to discover and watch what I want to watch on my own and enjoy it because I want to enjoy it, not because somebody tells me I have to. And so that kind of happened with Ted Lasso. You know, the fact that it was on Apple TV Plus was also
That's
a
why
barrier.
it took you so long.
It's a barrier, but like my parents had one. I could have asked for the login at any time, but I didn't because I didn't want to.
The truth comes out.
I didn't want to cave to people telling me I had to watch this show that I'm supposed to love. But now here we are 2 years later, and I've finally gotten to watch it, and I have fallen head over heels in love with this show. And I'm begrudging the fact that I haven't watched it until now because it's so delightful. However, I don't have to wait for season 2. I mean, I do. I have to wait for you, but you know.
Oh, my bad. We only have one. We have one episode left.
Oh, I know, but like,
I mean, go straight into it.
I mean, like, we don't have to wait like a year or for it to come out. So
no, we do not.
We lucked out in that regard.
No, yeah, we lucked out. We're so lucky.
I know.
We're so smart. We were like so smart. We should totally go to college and get diplomas and then just tell everyone how smart we are.
I mean, we're already doing that.
Oh my gosh. We're the smartest.
So, Ted Lasso. If you're okay with you're okay with some of the adult themes discussed
Sigs.
and
language.
The language present, cannot recommend it enough. It is
cursing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great show. That's your favorite, right? Is that your favorite right now?
I think right now it's my favorite. I think I'm not sure what my favorite show of all time is. It might be Stargate SG-1.
Oh, I've never seen it. Well, no, I used to watch it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
With my parents.
I was absolutely fascinated. Like the first time I saw it on TV, I was absolutely fascinated that the first shot that I saw was MacGyver using a gun for the first time.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I didn't put 2 and 2 together as a kid because I was too young.
What a child.
Xena the princess or whatever.
Warrior princess?
Yeah, Warrior Princess. I couldn't remember the name of it. We used to watch that, and I remember it got really sexual, and then my parents stopped watching it. But yeah, I just remember that's as mature as shows got when I was that age. I remember watching Stargate around that same time, but I don't remember anything else except for just kids shows after that. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But it's convenient that you mentioned Stranger Things just now, because why don't you tell us about your experience watching your current favorite show?
I can't put it to words. There's just something so magical about it, so fantastical, majestical. Majestical's a word.
Let's say it sounds like you're putting it to words right now.
Yeah. So, okay, So when I was in Rio, working for the Olympic Broadcasting Services, the OBS, I had people coming up and telling me, "You look like Nancy Dyer." Dyer? Nancy?
I think it's Dyer.
You look like Nancy. And I was like, okay, interesting. What show's that from?
Wheeler. Nancy Wheeler is the character's name.
Who's that? Oh, I was thinking about her actually.
Yeah,
her
actor,
Natalia Dyer.
Yep.
I was putting 2 and 2 together. So yeah. So people kept telling me I looked like Nancy Wheeler, and I was like, oh, who is that? And then as soon as I got back from the Olympics, I was like, okay, I'll look into the show. Turns out I had heard about it the year before. Because I had friends from my college that were auditioning for it remotely, and they had invited me to audition for this part of Nancy, and I was like, I'm really busy, you know. It sounds like it'll be awesome, but then I think something about I got really busy, and then I didn't know how to audition myself because I like lost the link or something. Anyway, I never ended up auditioning, and now people are telling me that I look like this Nancy Wheeler, and I'm like, what the heck? That was the same. What? That was the same thing. Yeah. So, it did sound like it was gonna be a big, awesome thing. And I never ended up auditioning for it. So it is one of those ones that I watch and I get kind of sad watching it. And I feel like I lost my shot. But at the same time, it was never meant to be, you know? So I just keep reminding myself of that. Myself, I write songs too, Olivia. I see you through your window while I'm standing on a tree outside. Oh God, I can quote "She's the Man" all day long. Anyway, yeah. So I keep watching this show, and honestly, I can't speak. Natalie, honestly, Natalie is great. She's great in the show. I thought she was really awkward in the first season. Her facial muscles are really tense, and I was like, man, that would be me too. And I just really vibed with her, honestly, even though she was really awkward. Yeah, that's totally a character I could have like really sunk my teeth into. I really, anyway, besides that, my favorite character is 11 in the show. She's the best. She's my favorite. She's everyone's favorite. She's amazing. I love Winona Ryder in the show. Winona's always the actress where you can watch her and learn from her work. She's always so real. She lets her emotions come out, but she never forces anything. And I think actors can learn from her because a lot of times we're either forcing emotion, or when we have the emotion, we're so excited that we finally feel it, that we push it out, and it's too expressive. It's too much because we don't do that in real life. You know, when we have emotion, we don't like try and show it to others so people can see it. It's just there. And Winona does that so well because she is very animated. And for TV, that's kind of hard to find. And the only reason why she can do it and others can't is because she's not coming from a fake place. She's coming from a real place. And you can see that in her work. And I've also been really, really impressed with Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, who was like, I think 9 when she started the show. She could have been 12 or 10. She was somewhere in between there. She was so good. And I knew she was going to be like a great actress when she grew up. And she is a great actress, but her work in season 1 through 2, specifically season 1, such a high caliber. She's so good.
Especially as a child actor. Like,
yeah.
That's not easy.
And even as a child actor, she's way above any that I've seen recently ever, you know? I'm trying to think. There was another person that reminded me of her. I can't remember. I'll think about it. But as an actress, she's a great little actress. And then she became what she is now, where she's older. She's a great actress, and she kept it. And in season 4, so season 3, I wasn't too hot about. There was something about it where I was like, okay, this is good. I'm not really sure if they have a place where they're going with this. And it just seemed like maybe they were doing that for the just the story writing, trying to get stuff to shock the audience and stuff. Now looking back, I'm glad where it was headed. I love season 4. The stakes are way higher, like Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones was so great because the stakes were so high. You didn't know who was gonna die. Each and every sentence that they spoke, they were fighting for their lives, even if it was just a small conversation. And season 4, I feel like, has that same effect, where we are scared now for the characters, whereas season 3, I didn't feel that scared for the characters. Like, I didn't feel like there was that much peril. Season 1 and 2, they all felt perilous, Season 3, I was like, I don't feel like anyone's gonna die. I think it's a really great show, but I don't really feel that. Season 4, we're straight back into it, and it's even better, in my opinion. So I love it. And it is one of my favorite shows. I kind of stopped watching it, when things got hard the past few years, and I was like, yeah, Stranger Things. So I forgot a lot. And then coming back into it, I'm watching it again with my little sister online. So good. So I'm coming back into it. It is one of my favorite shows now. I think it has been for a while. I just took a break, and now I'm back in it.
Good stuff. So so I forgot why I stopped watching season 3, but like it just felt different, like different in a major way from seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And not in a way that I was like super a fan of. It's kind of hard to put my finger on to put it into words, but like I don't know, like the especially the how they were kind of toying with like Mrs. Wheeler, you know, Mike and Nancy's mom. Um
And Billy.
and Billy. I was not a fan of that whole thing. It was like
It was uncomfortable, but like I
yeah.
could see it, you know.
Yeah, it's like I get the plot device, but like I think part of the reason that it made me even more uncomfortable is that like I was watching, so like I watched the first couple episodes like with my family, and so my mom was there, and so listening to my mom, you know, just like be in such shocked like sadness and kind of anger and disappointment at seeing this other mother, you know, looking at, while, you know, not perfect, but still like it's still her family, you know. She wouldn't just be like she's doing something very, very selfish for those points, and to hear my mom express that made it hit home a lot harder, I think, like having her be present right there.
The stuff with that makes me think about a lot of things. First of all, for some reason, we put ourselves in the shoes of characters that are just slightly similar to us, and we expect them to make the same moral choices that we would. Your mom, I know she's a very religious woman. The Wheelers were never religious, so
Yeah.
I don't know why we would expect her to make good choices. There is also in the show so much analogy between Steve and Nancy's relationship, and to the Wheelers. And they made a point to say that their relationship was strained with just maybe they fell into a place where they were really bored in their marriage, and it didn't seem to have any spark at all. And they made that pretty clear. And I wasn't, I wasn't bothered at all by it, because I don't expect them to make good choices. And I don't think.
Or at least
I don't
the
think we
same
should do
choices
that.
we would,
And
because they don't have the same convictions that we would.
no, not at all. So that kind of surprises me that your mom would react in that way. But my parents also would do things like that, so I understand. It does kind of get under my skin, though, when people react that way to TV or movie characters, because they're not us, and we can't we. You know, I mean, as an actor, I understand this more than most people do, but we can't expect characters to make the same decisions we would, and to put ourselves in the shoes of the characters. It makes them easier to understand, and it actually helps us grow empathy for people who would make bad decisions in life. And I think that's what makes stories so powerful. And as I said, I think those are the reasons why Mrs. Wheeler would totally fantasize. And also, she was reading a book about fantasizing romances before she met Billy. Like, specifically a few moments before she met Billy, she was in the bath and she was reading a romance novel. And she's already fantasizing about a relationship that she doesn't have, and trying to get out of her life, and trying to put herself into someone else's shoes, because well, what I think, just from observing the characters from afar, she doesn't really have that spice in life, or passion in her relationship, so she's looking for it in other places already. So it's not really that much of a step or leap to say that she would be interested in Billy and kind of have those fantasies of, you know, going off with Billy, especially if he shows up in that choice moment when she's already fantasizing in the tub right before he shows up at her door, you know? It wasn't surprising to me. People love that scene, though. If you go online, Darcy Montgomery, he's the actor who plays Billy. I love him. He is such a great actor. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I forgot to mention him, because I've been studying him for the past few days because of how good he is. He's actually... now his audition for Stranger Things is famous. I don't know if you know that, but his audition is famous because of how good it was for Stranger Things. He broke every single auditioning self-tape rule you could, and he still just killed it. He absolutely killed it, because he was Billy, and he did such a great job. And now that I rewatch the scenes, I just look at him as the actor, and I'm just blown away. He does such a good job. So he's now one of my favorite actors to watch, because he's just that good.
Yeah. Oh no. And he does an absolutely fantastic job. But just to go back to something you said like a little bit ago, I still think that we can be disappointed, and like we can be, you know, no, because it's one of those things that helps us understand ourselves if we're because the part of the reason that we read stories, like I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to pick up a novel where every single aspect of the main character's life is exactly the same as mine, my experience. And so we read these other fantastical stories to take us away to these other locations and these other times and these other experiences. And so we find ourselves then in the midst of these like situations and in the midst of these places, either rooting for or against these various characters that we find in this situation. And through empathy, sure, we can understand why someone might do something, but that doesn't mean that we necessarily agree with it at the same time. I think you can empathize. I think you can completely empathize, and as such understand why someone might do something, but also disagree with it and say,
well, yeah, I agree with your mom.
Yeah. So
it doesn't mean that I hate the show because one character made a bad decision.
No,
that's what annoys me is I hate when people like completely are like that movie's awful because those characters made bad choices. And I'm like,
no, that I understand. That's not why I stopped watching the show. That's not the only reason. There was other stuff going on in my life that just meant that I was too busy to sit down and dedicate to watching the rest of the show. But like,
no, that's what I was saying annoys me is when someone disregards an entire piece because they don't agree with morals of the characters. It's like, okay, why are you putting yourself in other people's shoes if you don't
the wrong way?
In the wrong way, like, why are you putting yourself in their shoes if you expect them to be like you? If you I don't know.
Yeah. But so now all that to say that like that was merely just one part of it. As to why I didn't pick it back up is because there are some other like just changes to tone and things like that didn't feel the same as the previous two seasons that I'd absolutely loved.
It was less nostalgic. They made it almost reminded me like when the Wonder Woman movie came out, the new one. Mm-hmm. It 84? Was like Wonder Woman 84. It had this new 80s feel that just felt too new. It was less nostalgic in my opinion this season. Season 3 of Stranger Things. And also Wonder Woman had a weird feel change in the second movie, which I wasn't a fan of either.
Yeah. So I think it wasn't just the one thing, like the behavior of Mrs. Wheeler in the show. That's not the only thing by any means that, it was just one facet of a lot of stuff, including things that were going on in my life that at that time when it came out that just made me feel like I didn't.
Same here. It was a hard year.
It was mostly the tonal shift, though, I think that did it for me. But if I need to go back and watch it so that I can be up to date for season 4, whenever I do.
That's the only reason I would rewatch season 3, to be honest. There were good scenes, and the Duffer Brothers did a great job still, but it wasn't as good as season 1 and 2.
Fair enough. How would you say season 4 or season 4 part 1 stacks up to season 1 and 2 so far? Season
1 and 2 I don't think can be beat. Season 4 goes back to that nostalgia for me, and that's just my opinion. And they just it is different, but they did it in a good way, and it's really enjoyable. They just make it a good ride. It's a good ride, and I liked writing it. I liked watching it. It was fun.
You enjoyed running up that hill?
Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started. You don't know what happens, do you?
No, I don't.
Good.
I've seen a few small clips.
Don't watch anything else.
I won't.
Don't even get me started. I was like bawling. Oh yeah, I told you about that. Yeah, I was bawling after that episode. I was like, this is so beautiful.
Shortly. I came over to like visit you guys or something shortly after that.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you were over. I think you were getting ready for like an event and you needed to like. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, you were out at our apartment to grab something or something
I'm
like
very
that.
good friends with both of Brooke's roommates, and so I'm over there all the time, just
Yeah, so who knows
visiting
why he's over
one or
by the
any
day.
number of them.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm very lucky that Gabe already has a really great relationship with both my roommates. He's best friends with both of them as well, so he's always over. But yeah, you came right after, like, I had been crying over that episode, and I was just, like, wrecked. I was wrecked. Running up that hill.
I'm hearing that song everywhere now. Like bit of fun news. So I had a job interview this morning.
How'd it go?
I think it went really, really well. We can
Bro.
talk more about that in another instance, or we could talk about it right now, whatever you want to do.
I mean, no, that's up to you. What?
But no, I just had a job interview this morning. I think it went really, really well. It's for a company that I like for an account management type role. So I am
Look at
very, very excited about that possibility. So if y'all are if y'all are praying types, if you're listening to this, prayers for that would be appreciated, right along with prayers for the continued health and wellness of both Ashley and little Riley.
Yeah.
But I went to meet. Just speaking of Brooke's roommates, I went and met both of her roommates for lunch at a coffee shop up north of where they live, and I'm sitting there waiting for the two of them to arrive, just on my phone, and what do I hear coming over the sound system, played twice in a row, is running up that hill. So it's definitely hit some people's heartstrings. It's definitely hit a chord with people.
Well, you'll see when you watch it. You'll understand. It Duffer Brothers did it again, man. It was like one of my favorite episodes of anything. It was so good. But yeah, I just thought it was really beautiful. I can't talk to you anymore about it without giving it away, but I just thought it was a really well done episode, and
Okay.
they did a good job. Sadie Rinks, is it her last name, Rinks? Sadie, who plays Max, did a great job. She's always really impressed me, especially season 2. Like, oh my goodness, she's so good. She's so good at balancing those little moments, not going overboard, being so relatable. Oh God, she and Billy were really good chemistry wise, and it's really interesting to hear about their scenes because he would improvise with her a little bit just to get a reaction out of her. Also, I don't know if you heard about the scene in season 2, season 3. I think it's season 3, where 11 collapses. Do you remember anything about that?
Don't remember that part.
Yeah, well, so I was watching it the first time before anyone commented on it.
She also does that a lot.
Well, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's this scene. So I'm really good at this. I have like a secret superpower. And it is where I can tell when someone on screen is in a real emotional moment or not. I'll watch it and I'll be like, whoa, that was real. That came from a real place. What's going on? And then I'll do some research and I'll find out, oh, that person really was drowning in that scene and they just didn't cut it. Like, and now you see me. Now you see me. I knew she was really drowning. I actually looked at my dad when we were watching it. I was like, Dad, she's really drowning. He's like, yeah, I know. It's a movie. And I'm like, no, she's actually drowning. I'm going to look this up and I'm going to prove it. And I did. And I was right. And then in this scene, I was watching for Stranger Things, and Millie Bobby Brown plays Love, and she just collapses in a lot of emotion. And I was like, oh my God, whoa. And then turns out that was not in the script, and she just really did it because they were having some hard days shooting. And so that's impressive that she was able to just let it go and use that as the character and really use it for the scene. I think that's what makes acting so great is you can turn and you can use real things for the character. I just love that about acting. I love it. I love it. And all the things that happen in the moment that maybe like are mistakes, you can use that. Like, what? It makes it better? What? Failures make things better in art?
Well,
yeah, it does.
It's like in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange movie that just came out not too long ago. There's a sequence where, oh man, why do I all do it? Elizabeth Olsen is she's there with these two kids, and they're like throwing stuff at her, like, because they're scared of her. They're scared of what her character is doing, and she's trying to be like, okay, stop it right now, control her own anger, and during one of the takes that ended up being the one that was in the movie, one of the boys threw one of the toys, and it smacked her in the face hard, and so she whirls around and just gives this "stop it!" like this big, like, unleashing of energy that had been getting pent up, ever since the kids started throwing stuff at her, and that's the shot that they ended up using in the movie. And so it's always cool when you look and, like, maybe not quite as much for the scene where the one actress was drowning, but like, like the most famous one, I think, or one of the most famous ones, is the scene in Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers when Viggo Mortensen kicks the helmet and breaks two of his toes in the act of kicking this real metal helmet as hard as he can through with his soft leather boot that he's wearing. He was able to channel the pain of his toes breaking into the pain and the anguish being expressed by his character
losing the
moment.
hobbits.
Thinking that Merry and Pippin were dead, and so he was able to take that very real physical pain that he was experiencing and channel that into this character's emotional and mental, just heartbreak that he was feeling in that moment.
And Peter Jackson was like, "Oh, that was a good take. That was really good."
And then he comes hobbling back over. I think I broke my toes.
Yeah.
Then they had to shoot all the running scenes after that.
Yeah, I learned real quick in acting class one thing I just have spent the last 7 years just dedicating myself to acting classes, and I've been taking a break, obviously, the past 2 years from that. I learned real harsh lesson to never stop a scene. You never stop a scene because if you are even confused about what you're doing, but the reactions are real, people are hooked. They want to watch real stuff. That's why reality shows are so popular. People are wanting, and they're feeding off of real stuff. They want real entertainment. That's what actors' jobs are, is to be as real as possible. So if you have a real moment, even if you think it's wrong, even if you feel like a failure, you can't stop a scene. You just can't. It'll ruin everything. The chances of having that great scene will be lost. And I learned that the hard way. I literally had to force a scene to stop because I was like, I don't understand what the instructions are. And they were like, "Oh, we thought that you were acting, that you were confused, and it was like the best thing I'd ever seen." And I was like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, and you ruined it." And I was like, "Oh, damn it." And you never get those moments back, So I think that reality shows are so popular because everyone's, it's not, I don't think it's the fact that we're starved for entertainment. I think that we all long for human connection so much. That's what makes stories so powerful. Like, we're yearning for human connection to the point of we will get hooked to reality TV shows because we're seeing something real, at least. We're learning about someone's relationship on The Bachelor, and we're learning about love in a way, and or at least that's what what can feel like. Not that you're learning the best things about love, but you're learning. And I think people are addicted to that. I think people are addicted to learning about the state of being human and what human emotions mean and what it means to connect to someone else. I think we're all yearning to learn more about that.
No, I think that's all really good points, honestly.
That's what makes certain scenes so dynamic and fun. Not fun, but those scenes you're watching a movie and you can't take your eyes away, it's because there's something real there.
Yeah.
Either with the actors or definitely it should be in the writing. But even if the actors aren't doing a good job, if it's there in the writing, if something's real in the writing, it'll carry. That's why theater continues, because if it's a good script, if it's a good story, people can redo it, and you don't have to be like a professional actor to carry it. You can be at a community theater, and you don't have to be the best actors in the world, but you can still carry the story. And if you tell the story, then you're telling a great story, you know? Maybe not in the best ways, but you're sharing something real. And I think that's the beauty of storytelling is you're telling something real. Some sort of truth. You're sharing it. Maybe not the full truth, maybe not the best truth, but you're sharing a truth. And that's what really gets through to people.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to call this one. I don't really know where to go from that. That was good. That was real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gabe Chandler and
and Auntie. Thank you all so much for listening to episode 6 of the Two Starving Artists podcast. My name is Gabe Chandler. I'm here with Brooke Butterworth. Tune in next week as we're going to be talking about something in episode 7. We'll get that figured out.
You keep promising people things we're going to talk about next, and I'm like, no, we might not want to talk about that. Don't say that.
Well, that's why I said just something. We'll talk about something.
But you already promised them that we'd talk about, you already promised them something. Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't. I'll go back and listen to it.
You promised them that we would talk about how to memorize things best.
Oh, yeah, memorization.
So I was like, we can talk about that.
Okay, how about this?
We can make it part of it.
Join us next week when we might be talking about memorization techniques, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to see about that. And I'm sorry, guys, that my light is so weird. I don't know. The camera adjusts, and so it keeps adjusting, and it keeps doing it wrong. So I'll change it, and it'll be perfect, and it'll adjust again. So dumb. Anyway.
That'll be another troubleshooting tech episode of Two Starving Artists that we'll record another time. But thank you all once again.
Thank you all. This has been Troubleshooting Tech, episode 1 of a string off of Two Starving Artists.
Yeah, the offshoot, the
yeah
side project.
This has been a side project. And go to mainstayfitness.com and get a discount, a 15% discount on any purchase on mainstayfitness.com with the code Two Starving Artists. And we'll see you in the next episode.
See you in the next episode.
See you in the next episode, and eventually we'll have an intro song.
Eventually, we've got some things in the works to help make this a little bit more, I don't know, sound a little bit more professional or something like that. A little bit cooler. It's gonna be awesome.
Sick.
It's gonna be awesome.
Rad and tubular.
Dope. It's gonna be dope.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. And give us an email at the Two Starving Artists at gmail.com for any subjects you want us to talk about. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.